Hello and welcome to Nice Ethereal Epiphanies. This is my channel where I talk about all the things, my thoughts, psychology, life, etc. So today I am very excited. I am just really excited, ecstatic. Now I know some of you might see this entire video and may say, "Are you serious? Like that's it?" But let me explain, okay? I'm excited because yesterday I finally downgraded my storage unit. Now, I know you might be like, okay, are you serious? But let me explain why, okay? So, since I was laid off almost a year and a half ago, it was a year and a half ago, roughly, a while ago, okay? My storage unit, I couldn't pay the bill a lot of the times or even pay it on time. And there were even times like I couldn't pay it for 3 months in a row. And when you do that, they're like, well, we're going to auction your stuff off. And first of all, I was not in the country to even just pay one time and grab my stuff. And then even when I came back to the United States, I had nowhere to bring that stuff to. And so what people don't know, and I didn't know about having a storage unit, is that you just cannot just dump all your stuff on the sidewalk, right? So when I first came back to the United States, I was like trying to find out like, okay, I want to downgrade. So, okay, let me just actually go back a little bit. So I got the storage unit when I first went on my, like, I call it my backpacking trip across Europe, but really I had a small luggage and a backpack. So it wasn't like real backpacking the way many others do. But when I went on that trip, by the way, I had a flood in my apartment before I left, and then I left that, I didn't renew my lease, and there was like a whole lot of things. So I just said, just in case if I go to Europe and I don't want to come back, oops, sorry, I shook the table. Let me just put everything inside the storage unit. Also, I didn't really trust any of my family. And I just thought a storage unit would be best. The problem was that was in August. Another thing I never knew, because I've never had to put my stuff in storage before, because that was my first apartment. I didn't know that August going into September is like the prime time when college students put their stuff away. And apparently, like the beginning of the year and August are like, the like hot spots of the year when people put their stuff in storage. So I was calling so many different places, like I had nowhere to put my stuff. I mean, I called so many different places in Manhattan and Queens, where I was living, etc., in New York City. And there was thankfully one place that was not too far from my house, and they had one unit left. Just one more left. And this unit was $98. No, actually they went up. I was originally paying 86, and then it went up to 98 eventually. And then when I couldn't pay for it on time anymore, it was 115. So that was, when you're out of work. And another thing, I ran out of my savings as well. Because, a lot of people ask me, now that I'm back in, families, but you're really smart. You didn't have savings. I did. And I ran out of my savings. I ran out of my savings after everything happened. Yeah, that's another thing. But I ran out of my savings. So, anyway, for me, especially living in a country where my rent was like $450. Yeah, I think it was like 450 US dollars. The fact that my overall expenses when I was overseas, I almost never exceeded like 1,500, almost never, unless I was like going on a shopping spree, like buying music equipment and stuff like that, which, I did buy lots of art stuff, music equipment, tech stuff, etc. But like the months that, just in general, excluding those things, cost of living, always under 1,500, always. Really under 1,000. Because also I'm quite like frugal and cooked at home and stuff like that. So, for to have something that was $115 when, for example, my rent was like 450, and then let's just say all my utilities and everything was extra, let's say $50 per month. So if I was only getting, after I ran out of my savings, if I was only getting paid, let's just say like anywhere between $500 to $700 per month, like $115 was a big chunk. Because the other thing is that I always get paid. So it was $98, but it was $115 if you paid late. I would if you pay after the fifth, it's $115. I would always get my check after the fifth, so I would have to pay $115. So anyway, it was a big burden on me to have that storage unit. It was a lot. And so anyway, so fast forward, when I came back to the United States, then I was thinking like, okay, so by the way, the other thing is that, as I mentioned, that was the last unit and it was expensive. And I didn't even have a lot of stuff to fill up this unit. That's the crazy thing, is that I may eventually like show a picture or something, but it was, oh, like when I went there yesterday, I told the guy, I was like, I really think I can just downgrade. Like today, I really don't have a lot of stuff. I told him, my storage unit is so empty, I can walk around and twirl in it. Okay, full Kenya style, I can twirl inside. First of all, it was very tall. It was 5 by 5. It was very tall. I didn't have a lot of stuff in there. I mean, really, in fact, that unit was so large, I probably could have fit like a futon in there and slept there. That's how large it was. So again, it was expensive. I didn't need that much space. So anyway, when I was in New York City, I tried posting online and like asking folks if they wanted this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, couldn't really arrange times with anyone. I called because I at least wanted to get rid of my decor stuff. So I was thinking, okay, if I just get rid of all of the decor stuff and then my autonomous standing desk and, you know, my TV and stuff that I would never use again, that's fine. I can quickly get rid of those, no problem. But I realized, and just going yesterday, I realized, okay, yeah, this is why I kept paying. I didn't want everything to go to auction. One, I had some really important documents in there, and two, I totally forgot all of my networking equipment is in there. So all of my IT stuff. Yesterday I was taking pictures. I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that I have like almost $20,000 worth of stuff in here. Not 2,000, 20,000. I just totally forgot. I have countless MacBooks, Mac Minis, switches. By the way, for those of you that don't work in tech, like these are just all the equipments. So like if you worked at an office before and the office has internet and stuff like that, like these are all of the components and items that, how can I put this, that make the internet work. I don't know why I'm having a hard time. Usually I'm really good at these things, but this is why I need to talk more, because by the way, like I used to teach and this stuff used to come so easy to me, but that's because I did it all the time. But I think like especially when you're not teaching a lot or talking about things a lot, it's kind of hard to, you know, get into that flow of being able to explain things in a way that anyone can understand. So anyway, long story short, I have lots of equipment in there. In fact, I'll probably put some pictures up so that you can understand like what I'm referring to. So anyway, I have like Cisco switches, access points, mini computers. I have another thing. So I have all my IoT devices. So I counted. I had like almost close to 15 Arduinos and Raspberry Pis. I also put those up. Like I had so much stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, this is why I won't let this unit go. Because listen, one thing I'll say, take the TV, take the desk. If I can get paid for it, great. If not, I don't care. But my networking equipment, no, I need to sell that. I am not going to let that money go to waste. Actually, I was thinking what I should have done yesterday was I should have brought some back with me here and tried to sell it on Craigslist or something or eBay, but I was in a rush. Anyway, no point is that I'm just... Oh, another thing that I got from my unit yesterday, I think I mentioned on here before that I had a flower wall and then I had a neon sign that I built, and when I would pass by the sign, or like when it would, like it didn't know it was me, but like it would detect motion, it would say nerd alert. So I don't have the neon sign anymore because I actually gave it away to someone. Or did I give it or sold it? I don't remember, but I gave it away. But I did have I had part of my wall, so that's this behind me, and I figure, you know, since I'm not going to be outside recording and, you know, the nice outdoors, I guess I can, you know, and by the way, this is fake. I was like, oh, I can bring the outdoors in, or at least, you know, the nice scenery in. And so I had bought back my part of my amazing flower wall behind me. And I feel like, it gives a little something to the background of video versus, that cabinet thing. So anyway, yeah, I was just really happy to, get some stuff from there. And also it was like a reminder of, oh yeah, I have all this stuff in here. I forgot. Like this is why this is why I continue to pay for that space. So sorry, something that I forgot from the beginning of the story. Totally forgot. I should have mentioned this in the beginning. What I wanted to say in the beginning before I got into all those details is that so I've been actually wanting to go to New York City for quite some time to see if I could downgrade and blah blah blah. Because again, this is a big expense right now. Like I think I shared with you guys, my last paycheck was $97. My last for 3 days of work. Okay, it was $97. So can you imagine having to work a week and a half to just pay for this one expense? No, it's crazy. So anyway, so yesterday, so by the way, I'm not like big on funerals. So I had a very traumatic experience, which I'll probably talk about another time because I don't want this to go over 15, 20 minutes. So I had a bad experience with funerals as a kid. So I'm very selective going to funerals. So yesterday, it was a family funeral. And I was like, well, do you mind if I drive? If I go down there with you so I can get my stuff out my storage unit and swap out my things? 'Cause I really needed to, like, my book bag broke. Like, I've had this Samsonite for exactly 10 years now, and it's just now breaking. That's a bag that I took with me to Europe. It's been through a lot. It's been checked in, it's been thrown around. It just now broke. So I said, okay, well, I have in the storage unit, I had a one medium-sized luggage and I had another small one, and I had my small one with me. So I figured if I just get rid of the small one I had with me and I throw that bag out and I just get the medium-sized luggage, like wherever I go next, all I have to worry about is that medium-sized luggage, and I have a very small backpack, so I'm not carrying a lot. And as I said, I also wanted to get a few things. Like another thing that I got was my Canon. I'm so glad I got this back. I mean, honestly, I probably wouldn't even use it because my iPhone to me it works just fine, and I don't have to worry about like I had this on a stand, and when I record outside, I have it on a stand. So I probably wouldn't even really use. I might just I just wanted to maybe see if I want to use it. If not, I'm probably just gonna sell it. Um, if I can, maybe for $100, $150 if I can. I don't know. I was looking at some prices today, but yeah. Anyway, I'm so glad that I got this. So I got this. I got some other not too much, just a few things. So anyway, so yeah, back to the story. So there was this funeral, and I was like, well, do you mind if I have been really needing to go to New York City to do this thing, blah blah blah, get some stuff, etc. etc. And they're like, yeah, like it shouldn't be a problem. Everyone knows that I'm not a funeral person anyway. So, they said, fine. So the family like dropped me off to storage unit. But before they did, when we were in the car, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm still paying for this expensive thing. Like, why don't I just, because the last time I went there and they didn't have a cheaper, smaller unit available, the guy said to me, he was like, oh, just call ahead of time and check and see if we have a unit and just come and just, if you could, the same day pay for both. Like, that's unfortunate. So I did have to pay for the original unit yesterday and the new unit. But for the old unit, just like minus 4 days, which is stupid, but I still had to pay for both. But I said, fine, you know what? Fine, because at least my expensive stuff is in a safe place and my documents are in a safe place, and it's much cheaper than what I was paying before. And moving forward, it'll be much cheaper. And hopefully if I can try to sell, my stuff off in the next, I don't know, 2 months or so, fine by me. I just don't want to pay $115. So anyway, so I remember he said that, so I called, and the woman at first, she said, oh no, like we don't have anything, blah blah. And she said, oh wait, let me check again. She checked again, and they had a cheaper unit. I was so excited, so excited. So then I get there, and then I realized, I was like, oh wait, I forgot what happened. Oh, I get there, and I realized, oh, maybe I can't transfer all the stuff, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what, just forget it. I'm not going to do it. So I just swapped out my luggages. And then I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest, in that moment, but I left and I came back and I was like, wait a second. How far is the unit? How far is the smaller unit? And also, I did not have the money to pay for both. And you know how sometimes, like in the moment, you're just not thinking because I don't know, you're just kind of like just worrying about the next thing. So it wasn't until I left that I realized I was like, duh, Naya, ask someone to borrow money so you can pay for both. Ask him how far is the other unit, because other things that they were closing in like 2 hours. I was like, ask him how far is the other unit, and he didn't know. So he's like, oh, let's go check. Do you know the new unit? The last unit, by the way, so he said this was also the last unit they had. The last unit was like a couple doors down from my unit. What's the odds of that? Because otherwise, I would have had to get a trolley and trek it all the way to another side and blah, 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 or like another floor. I was so elated that it was just a couple. What's the odds of that? That they had no other units available, but the one that was right a few doors down from mine just happened to be available on the one day that I was able to go back to New York City. How amazing. So anyway, the big concern was getting the tabletop for my standing desk. Another thing, it was a top unit, and that's why it's cheaper. So it's a top unit, which means I had to, this is the bad thing, is that I had to truck everything by myself up those stairs. And when I tell you, like, when I woke up this morning, like, I was supposed to get up and record another video at 9:30, 10 o'clock, but I could not move my body. It was in so much pain from picking up all that stuff, you know, putting it on the thing. And it wasn't a lot of heavy stuff, but like the desk stuff was definitely heavy, and then my networking equipment. So anyway, so we went to see if like the desk could fit, and if it could fit, I was like, you know what, fine, listen, I'm gonna ask someone to borrow some money right now. I want to do this right now, so I'm not paying $115. So anyway, it all worked out. The guy did actually help me with the tabletop. At first he was like, oh, are you sure you can do all this by yourself? I was like, sir, I've worked in IT for many years. My whole life has been like putting together server racks and carrying heavy equipment by myself. And some of the things working in IT, especially not information security, but working in IT and dealing with equipment, I never liked when men would be like, oh, do you need help? Because I feel like that kind of invalidates me being able to do the job and my expertise, etc. Like, now, if it's something extremely heavy that two people should be carrying it, or, you know, carrying something together, fine. But I mean, I never really liked that. I mean, if we're both getting paid, for example, I used to do upgrades for Morgan Stanley and UBS, which just means that like we were upgrading their computers, swapping out components and stuff. But sometimes we also have to swap out their monitor for, so if they had a small one, we'll get them a large one, and we'll have to carry it to a whole nother floor and blah, blah, blah. And this only happened a few times. And it wasn't like the men were condescending or like trying to say that I couldn't do my job. They just, you know, in this case, I mean, I have heard that happening before, but in this case, a lot of them just wanted to be like, you know, respectful of the fact that I was a woman. They just didn't want me, you know, carrying it. It's not like anyone ever said, oh, you're a woman, you know, that never happened with that job. But, you know, they would always ask, like, did I want help? And X, Y, and Z. And I'd be like, no. Then my back would be hurting later. But I'm just so against, if I could do it myself, why not? And if I need help, I will let you know if I need help, because, you know. So anyway, so I was telling the guy, I was like, do you see all this equipment? I put this stuff together in my own home, in, you know, and job sites, etc. Like, I'm okay. I might just need help with the tabletop desk, because that thing was that. By the way, when I bought that desk, I put it together by myself, and I had some lower back pain after that. That tabletop is heavy, and I think I'll probably add like a picture of it. So anyway, he helped me with that, but I did everything else. So anyway, this is why I'm just happy, because I'm just excited that I don't have to pay for that thing anymore. And this was like a big worry for me. Like, that's the whole point of this video, is that this was a really big worry for me, constantly worrying about having to pay for the unit, and if I can't pay, will my stuff be auctioned off? Like, I can't even explain like just how much of Like, it was very like a nuanced thing. It was just, what's the word I'm looking for? It was just like it was a problem in my life. And so even though I'm still having to pay for a unit, I'm just happy that I'm paying, and actually it was $34, but with protection I think it's either 43 or 47. Either way, it's better than 115. And the thing is, so I think now I'm gonna be having $68 more back in my pocket. Like, that's a big deal. That is, listen, that's grocery money that can go towards other bills, because sometimes I pay the storage unit and I'm late on something else, and then I get a late fee on that too. So I know it seems so small, but if you're a new person here, the thing is, I've been homeless, job thing has been up and down, income has been up and down. So $60 more back in my pocket is a huge deal right now. And I know even if this was me like 5 years ago when I was making a lot more money, actually it's 3 years ago, 2 years ago when I was making a lot more money, and someone said to me, like, that's it, like $68, like, you're excited about that. Now I understand. Now, like, years ago, I'd be like, really, you're excited about that? But now that now that I'm in this position, I'm like, I get it. I get it. $20, $40, $60, anything makes a difference. $5, anything makes a difference. So let me just pause for 1 second, because that reminds me of something. 1 second. Okay, speaking of money, and then for leaving for all this time, I just want to say very quickly, I believe now, okay, I'm not gonna dox anybody or, give out information that no one gave me the okay to do. But if more of you do this as well, I would love to maybe at the end of my videos do a thank you to everyone that supports me. I think one of you amazing subscribers that I won't name, I think that you clicked the link in the description where I have support my work and buy me a coffee. But actually on my buy me a coffee, it's buy me a matcha. I think one of you had clicked the link in my description and you actually bought me a matcha. Thank you so much. I was I didn't even see it until I think like yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, someone bought me a matcha. How exciting. Like, I was so excited. So thank you for that. Like, you know what? It makes me feel good, because when someone pays you for your work or just gives you something, like, even first of all, I'm excited when someone says thank you for this video or I enjoy this. That makes me happy alone. And I know that in the future it will always be that way. I guess, as your channel grows, it will always be, rosy. But I'm happy when people say thank you, or they show their appreciation in whichever form works for them. So to the person that bought me a matcha, thank you. I'm so excited about that. That made me feel so good. I really appreciate it. If any of you on this channel, if you're new here or returning, if you enjoy my Ethereal Epiphanies, if you enjoy my writing on my blog, nayamoss.com, if you enjoy any of that, you can always buy me a matcha for, I think, $2 or $3. And just show any kind of support that you want. I mean, and if not, as I always say, you can always leave a comment. There's other ways to support. You can like the video, you can leave a comment, just I don't know, give some feedback. There's so much that you can do. So I just appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here. This is now going on 25 minutes, and I said I'm only 15. So anyway, thank you for listening to my Ethereal Epiphany today. I just feel so good that, I have this $68 probably back in my life now. I know it seems stupid to be happy about that, but I'm happy about it. And I'm also happy that all of you are here and supporting me and returning. Thank you for that. And I hope you have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are. And I will see you again soon. Bye.